What is going on, guys? Austin FFA here, or Luna. So, today is a story that I've been waiting to do for a very long time. Just a really, scared kind of story, it was more of a threat. So, probation. A lot of people in my comments talk about probation, and they're like, oh, I'm on probation, I'm on house arrest, I'm on this, I'm on drug tests. I'm going to give you my experience with probation and if I've been on it. So, have I been on it? Yes. Is this a story about how I got on it? No. There's two stories about probation that I'm going to make. One's going to be at 25K, so thank you so much. We're already getting closer. But anyway, so this is kind of a close call with probation, and I basically was like a nick away from being on it. So, you guys know me. I used to go to school stoned all the time. I used to literally go into school every fucking day, ripped. And that's bad. Don't do that, guys. Seriously. So, I don't want to do that ever again. That's a horrible idea. Never do that. But I came into school really ripped one day. I took I think I smoked a super fat bowl before I went to school. And I got on the bus and I left all my bowl and my weed on my porch. So I didn't have anything on me, keep in mind. So I go into school and I'm late. I literally walked the hallway with a friend for 5 minutes. And then we had 2 more minutes before we had to get to class. And I was hungry. You already know, though. So I went to the cafeteria. And I got some bacon, egg, and cheese sandwiches, and I think I got, what is it? We sold these really shitty hash browns at the time. They really suck, but I just got food. It was free. My mom pays, we have a system at our school where you pay yearly to get the lunches and stuff, and the breakfast. So, I pay for it. So I get the food, I sit down at the table, and literally, there's only, 4 other people here. So I'm sitting in this cafeteria with, 4 other people. And this lunch lady comes through bitching at everyone. Get up, go to class, go to class, go to class. The bell rang, go to class. And I'm just sitting here fuck. But I just keep eating. I don't give a shit. Keep eating. I don't really care. And, yeah, I didn't listen. So while I'm eating, she comes to my table and she's like, sir. I'm like, what? She's like, where are you supposed to be? I'm like, right here. You're not supposed to be here. I'm like, I'm hungry. I haven't had breakfast yet. Let me eat here. She's like, no, go to class and eat. I'm like, my teacher won't allow me to eat in class. And that was kind of a lie. I'm sure she would have. And she's like, I'm sure your teacher will allow you to eat. Just please go. I'm like, no. She's like, you're really gonna do this? You're gonna be stubborn? I'm like, I'm sorry, ma'am. I'm tired. Let me sit down. I'll leave in 10 minutes. She's like, no, we're gonna be closing in 10 minutes. I'm like, Jesus Christ. I literally whispered to my brother. I'm like, Jesus Christ. She's like, what? I'm like, nothing. So I stood up, pretending like I was going to leave, and she turned around and went out the door, and I just sat back down. And I'm sitting here, and then she comes back in to clean another table, and I'm sitting kind of behind a pillar in the cafeteria, so she can't see me because there's a pole in the way. And she looks over and sees me. She was moving around cleaning out the tables, getting ready to close, putting the chairs up, and then she looked at an angle and saw me, and comes over and she's like, sir, come with me now. And I was like, oh my God. So I come with her. She brings me to the principal's office. Yes, the principal's office for not wanting to fucking stand up and not eat in the class. So I go to the principal's office, and my principal looks at me, and he's like, oh my God, what is it now? I'm like, nothing. He's like, just come to my office. So I go into his office, and he's sitting there clicking his pen, staring at me. And I was like, are we going to talk, or are you going to keep clicking your pen, staring at me like a fucking creep? And, that's what I straight up said. I was really mad. I was super irritated. Because, if you're hungry and you're just trying to relax and someone's being a bitch, it gets annoying. And I could see where they were coming from. You can't close the lunchroom if someone's still in it. But I was just mad. You guys can feel me. When someone kills your vibe, it's annoying. So I'm sitting in this lunchroom, or not this lunchroom, this office. And he's staring at me clicking his pen. And that's what I said. I was like, you're going to keep fucking clicking your pen, or you're going to talk to me? He's like, all right, look, Austin, I can tell something is not right with you. Your eyes are glazed. You're sitting in that chair. You got a smell coming off you that I recognize, and something's wrong. And I was like, nothing's wrong. I'm not under the influence of anything. And that's the funny part. He didn't even ask if I was high. I just literally said, I'm not under the influence. And he's like, yeah, you are. Don't lie to me. I can tell. I was like, no, I'm not. Are you under the influence? And he's like, no, I'm not, but you are. I'm like, no, you are. And we just kept going back and forth. So he's like, literally, I have caught you so many times that I could get you on probation right now. I was like, you can't do shit. That is what I said. I was like, you know what? No, you cannot do anything. That is bullshit. because the way he said this made it so fake. He's like, I have so many times of you coming in here high that I could literally get you on probation. That makes no sense. So he gets on the phone, dials an extension, and has a school cop come in. And the school cop's a girl. And she looks at me and she's like, hi, mister. And she said my last name. And I'm like, hi. And she's like, so, what's wrong? I'm like, nothing. And then my principal's like, we think Mr. Austin's under the influence. And I was like, I'm not under the influence. Can you leave me the fuck alone? And she's like, no, don't worry, sir. We're not going to do anything. And I was like, okay. She's like, can I search you? Can I have consent to search you? I was like, no. You need parents' permission, not my permission. So even if I said yes, you would have to call my mom. And she's like, so we can call your parents. I'm like, I'd prefer if you didn't, but if you really have to, go ahead. So at this point, I was getting pretty nervous because they were offering to call my mom. And I was just like, fuck it. You know what? I was like, you know what? Fine. Yes, I'm stoned. I'm just, whatever. I'm stoned. And then she's like, all right, well, I appreciate your honesty. We're not going to do anything with drug tests or probation, but we could if we wanted to. And I was like, okay, sorry. I appreciate it if you didn't. And this is when I was kind of funny. She's like, no, we won't. We like to leave our students happy. And I was just sitting here like, what? Like, this cop is so weird. Because, like, she came in acting all tough, and by the end of, like, the conversation, she was super nice to me. So the cop left. She shook my hand, actually, and just left. And the principal looked at me. He's like, so are you going to keep coming into school stoned? I was like, no, I'm not. And I told him, like, are you going to tell my mom? He's like, no, I'm not going to tell your mom, but seriously, don't ever do this again. And I was like, all right, I won't. And then the next day I did it again, which is kind of funny because he saw me and just shook his head. And he doesn't care anymore, and I never do anymore, and that's why he never mentions it. But I really do appreciate him being so helpful and not being a dick to me. So thank you if you're watching this. Let me know in the comments below if you guys have ever been caught by your principal stoned in school. But I just wanted to give you guys that quick story because I know that that was one of the craziest experiences when I look back on it. But anyway, this has been Austin FFA or Luna. Hope you guys enjoyed. Peace.